Hi, Chris from Sally Forth here. Today we're going to take a look at putting together a Terra-Former terrain tile kit. When we put this kit together, we're going to finish off with a nice 1 foot square terrain tile that looks a bit like this. In today's video we're just going to take it to this stage that we have a tile assembled, it's got its rare earth magnets in place and the profile has been created. Then next week we will look at texturing, painting and finishing the tile off to this standard. So first thing that we need to do is to put the base together. Okay, so base components look like this. I find the best thing to do is to get them all neatly lined up and then for the greatest efficiency glue a whole set of joints at the same time. So this is for standard PVA wood glue that I'm using. I find that works best. Okay, so we've got some glue on all of the joints. We can lay it out in the form of a square. Then I use some masking tape to hold the corners together whilst it's drying. So just hold the corners together, put a piece of masking tape over it, repeat for the other three corners, making sure you have all of the pieces the right way round. And that's the first stage complete. The next thing that we need to do is to place the magnets in the side pieces. So before we can glue them in place, we need to turn the side over and to get some masking tape and to put it over each of the holes to form nice indentations to hold the super glue. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit of super glue in each hole ready. So magnets that we're using, rare earth magnets, and like all other types of magnets there's a positive side that's attracted and a negative side that's repelled. So when we're putting the magnets in our very first reference piece, the important thing is that one's facing up and one's facing down. And I find the easiest way to do that is to have the magnets in a stack, to place a magnet from the bottom of the stack, then turn the stack over and place the second magnet from what was the top of the stack. Okay, so always going back to the first reference side and then let's place the magnets in the other sides. And once I've placed them, turn them upside down to make sure the magnets are flush. We're now ready to assemble our tile. So we've got the base that we glued together previously and we've got our four sides that have got the rare earth magnets glued in place. In our stream kit we've got two different types of sides. We've got straight sides and we've got stream profiles. Now our first decision is, do we want a straight stream where the stream enters to the left and exits to the right, or do we want a corner stream where it enters to the left and exits at the top? In this case I'm going to build a straight stream. Right, so what we need to do is get our PVA wood glue and put some glue in all of the indentations. So for efficiency, I'm going to glue all of the side indentations with them in a block. So this reduces the time by a factor of 4. So now everything is nicely glued, making sure the magnets are facing outwards. We just start with one side and place it in place. So I like to use a bit of masking tape on each corner just to make sure the joint is nice and tight. So we're now going to cut a piece of polystyrene to fit into our tile. So I've got a piece that's approximately a foot square, and I'm going to use a template just to cut it down to the exact size. So there are lots of different tools that you can use for working with polystyrene, but I'm just using a very cheap utility knife. The key thing about it, keep it sharp, either sharpen it before you're going to use it for cutting polystyrene, or put a new blade in. Okay, so the key thing with the polystyrene is to make sure that it's a loose fit rather than a tight fit. Once you've trimmed your piece of polystyrene to the right size, then try it in the frame. So this is feeling a little bit tight. It's actually better for the polystyrene to be loose because it's easy to run some filler around the edge. If it's too tight, then the pressure could push the sides out of shape. So I'm going to trim this just a little bit more. And try it again. That's a good fit. Right, so we now need to decide the direction that the stream's going to flow. So as we said previously, there's 3 different options: left, centre and right on each stream face. So I want to make a tile like this one that I've made previously, where the stream enters and it kind of meanders around a bit and exits right. So what I need to do is take my piece of polystyrene out and remove some of these stream profiles. So these quite easily pull out to give us the profiles on the side for the stream exiting. I'm going to put the polystyrene back in place, and with a felt tip pen mark the entry and exit points on the polystyrene, and then draw kind of meandering shape that I want this stream to take. Yeah, something like that. We now need to form the, to cut out the material for the stream profile. Now, you might have noted that the stream is at 90 degrees to the edge of the board where it enters and leaves, and this really helps when you've got multiple stream boards to make sure that everything sort of flows neatly without any unrealistic bends. First thing that I'm going to do is to cut at 90 degrees across the stream bed, so I've got some sections that I can easily remove. Now I'm using a very sort of cheap utility knife. If you have a hot wire tool, then that's another good tool for the job. So once I've got my cuts across the stream, I'm going to use a profile on the edge of the board to remove a section. Okay, so I've removed an approximate section, so it's best to do it in small pieces, so that you're eventually getting a profile that matches. So once you've done that, it's really just a question of so this is the profile that we've cut out for the stream, and you might have noticed that for realism we've cut a sort of steep bank on the outside and a sort of shallow bank on the inside of the stream. In the next video we're going to look at texturing and painting the tile, and at that point we'll be smoothing out the river with household filler and placing some more bits of rock for interest. But for now, what we need to do is to take the polystyrene out and glue it back in place. So you can use any household no nails type adhesive, so you can buy it from a DIY shop in a small tube. Because we do a lot of terrain making, we're using a cartridge and a sealant gun. So what I'm doing is just squeezing some glue out around the bottom of the frame. Have a bit on the side as well. Not too much, because what we don't want is for the frame to be sort of distorted. So it's going to be plenty. Then just sort of place it back and leave it for a couple of hours to dry. you.